Welcome to The Bubble, the podcast that pops your comfort zone and scrambles your brain. Fasten your seatbelt. It's gonna get weird.
Welcome, everyone. We're doing a deep dive today into, well, one of the more delightfully bizarre questions. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's definitely out there.
We're looking at some really speculative sources circulating online asking this question. What if Joe Rogan
Yeah.
isn't actually a real person?
It really does sound like something out of sci-fi, right? Pure science fiction.
Totally.
But the sources we're looking at, they take this wonderfully playful, kind of speculative angle. It's almost presented like a conspiracy theory, but with this fantastic, humorous edge to it.
Yeah, tongue-in-cheek, maybe.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
they still raise some fascinating points, about media personas, about consistency, or maybe a strategic lack of consistency. And, well, just the nature of authenticity itself in this digital age we're all in.
Exactly. So our mission for you today is basically to unpack this whole theory. We're going to look at the evidence they present.
Evidence, in air quotes, of
Yep.
course.
Right, exactly. Heavy air quotes. All with a good dose of fun, naturally.
Yeah.
And just see what this whole idea might tell us about, those blurring lines between what's real and what might be
Yeah.
simulated.
Yeah. Where does reality end and the performance begin?
Okay, let's unpack this. All right, so you've probably seen the memes, maybe heard the whispers online. The question's kind of evolved, hasn't it?
It has.
It's not just, is Joe Rogan real
Yeah.
anymore? Now it sort of, what if he's not just one guy?
Right. And our sources just dive straight into that. They're suggesting maybe he's this constructed media thing.
Like an entity.
Yeah, or perhaps, AI assisted somehow. Or maybe even part of some complex and multi-personality setup.
Wow, okay.
The basic idea, as one source really playfully puts it, is that he's just too perfectly chaotic.
Perfectly chaotic. I like that.
Yeah.
So what's the proof then? How do they build this case?
Well, what's fascinating is how they build it. One of the main things they point to, again, playfully,
Uh-huh.
is his career path. It's just utterly wild, isn't it?
You mean like Fear Factor host?
Exactly. Going from hosting Fear Factor, people eating bugs and stuff,
Right.
to then doing intense UFC commentary.
Yeah.
And then somehow he just dominates the entire global podcast scene.
It is quite a range.
It really is. And the sources argue this isn't just like a varied career. They call it a shapeshifter evolution.
Shapeshifter.
Yeah, so extreme that it almost defies a single, linear human life story.
That makes sense in a weird way. And that's where it gets really interesting because the sources suggest this isn't just about the jobs he's had.
No, it's his opinions too, right?
Exactly. His opinions. Like one day he's deep into the carnivore diet.
Yeah.
The next day it's all about microdosing mushrooms.
Uh-huh.
Then maybe it's back to kettlebells or elk hunting.
It's whiplash sometimes.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the theory posits that this dramatic, really rapid pivoting, from diet fads to philosophical ideas,
Yeah.
it's just too disparate,
Yeah.
too much for one single mind that's evolving organically.
And that's precisely why it's seen as part of the proof, you see. The sources argue this lack of a fixed, unchanging persona isn't really a sign of genuine intellectual curiosity.
Right.
But maybe it's a deliberate strategy. Like, it's almost like an algorithm, maybe. Or a whole team of writers just optimizing constantly for maximum audience engagement.
Across all these different niches.
Exactly, hitting every possible demographic. It's like controlled chaos, but in podcast form. Designed perhaps to appeal to everyone and yet no one in particular all at the same time.
Wow. Controlled chaos. And, okay, it gets even wilder when you think about what's actually possible now, technologically speaking.
You mean the deepfakes in AI?
Yeah. Beyond just looking at his persona, the rise of synthetic media just adds this whole other layer of intrigue to the theory.
Definitely.
I mean, deepfake Rogan videos,
Yeah.
AI-generated podcast clones.
Yeah.
They're already out there. And some of them are. Well, they're scarily convincing.
Oh, absolutely. And this definitely fuels that speculative fire, doesn't it?
For sure.
Because if we can already make these incredibly convincing AI versions, well, the sources playfully ask, what if the real Joe Rogan just, retired back in 2018?
Replaced.
Yeah. Replaced by some neural net and maybe rotating team of, I don't know, stand-ins or something.
Okay, that's a wild take.
It is. It's totally wild, but it really does highlight how advanced this synthetic media tech has become and, how easily our own perceptions of what's authentic can be manipulated.
It makes you question what you're seeing and hearing. So the sources aren't just speculating about AI, though. They also bring in some truly out there, almost satirical element.
Right, like the 3i8TA.
Exactly. Well, one source just throws this out there playfully again.
Right.
What if 3i8TA, which they describe as this clandestine global data surveillance network people talk about in certain fringe circles?
Okay.
What if that was actually built just to track the Joe Rogan neural network?
Oh, wow. That's next level.
I mean, think about it. She's interviewed more UFO and alien disclosure people than probably CNN at this point.
That's probably true. And if you connect that to the broader satirical angle, the idea that Joe isn't even a person, but just a voice, channeling disclosure for some other entity or group,
Yeah.
it fits perfectly with how often he engages with these really unconventional topics and guests.
So his role isn't just entertainment in this view.
No, exactly. It suggests maybe his role is actually as a vehicle, a way to introduce certain pretty far-out concepts into the mainstream conversation.
Sort of subtly preparing us, maybe for alien contact or something?
Perhaps. It's like the ultimate meta-commentary on media, belief, and maybe even disclosure programs.
So, okay, we've definitely taken a journey down quite the rabbit hole of speculation here.
We really have.
Is Joe Rogan just one incredibly eclectic, maybe slightly chaotic human being? Or is he, like these sources playfully suggest, some kind of constructed media entity?
Maybe AI-assisted or part of this whole multi-personality operation.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, and stepping back from the sheer weirdness of it, this theory, even with its humorous setup, it really forces us to grapple with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it?
Which is?
Well, in a world where we know deepfake Rogan videos are real, where AI podcast clones are getting scarily good, what does this whole speculation tell us about our own ability? Our ability to tell what's genuinely real from what's just manufactured?
It's like a funhouse mirror, isn't it?
Exactly. Reflecting back our own expectations of media figures and showing just how blurry those edges of truth have become in this digital age.
So what's the big takeaway for you here? I mean, whether he's perfectly chaotic or a shapeshifter of opinions or maybe this voice channeling disclosure like the sources suggest?
Does it change anything?
Right. The question still hangs there. Is Joe Rogan real? Or is he just, I don't know, a very advanced simulation keeping us all entertained while maybe the aliens land?
And, one of the sources makes this final point. Either way, he's arguably better at being Joe Rogan than most actual humans are at being themselves online.
Huh. That's quite something. So maybe the real question isn't if he's real.
But whether it even matters anymore, especially when the performance, the simulation, whatever it is just this convincing.
Definitely something to ponder. Well, that gives you something to chew on. Until next time.
You've been inside the bubble. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious.